In the last 5 years, we increased our global coverage to provide service in more than 3,000 cities around the world. We did that through a community of users that volunteer to map public transit information, public transit data in different cities around the world. Today in our Mooviters community, the community of local editors, we have more than 650,000 editors, and they allow us to map public transit data in cities where that information doesn't exist, but also to continue and edit the data. And this helped us expand and open service in more than 3,000 cities around the world, and specifically in Italy, in more than 220 cities across all the regions. And after we open service in that many cities, we're also able to attract users to use our product and become Moovit users on our iPhone, Android, and on the web app. Today we have more than 680 million users that have used our platform. And it's because they find the product useful, it helps them to navigate around their cities in the most convenient way. Another thing that we did in the last 2-3 years is the expansion from public transportation to support all of the mobility options that a city has. And that includes micromobility, bicycle, scooters, motorcycles, car sharing. All of the mobility alternatives that exist in different cities are aggregated inside Moovit, so the citizens can have in one app all of their options to get from one point to another in the most convenient way. In the next 5 years, we're going to continue and focus on global expansion. There are still thousands of cities around the world where users cannot use any application to move around. So it's very important for us to make sure that anywhere around the world, any city with a population of 100,000 people or more in any of the countries around the world can benefit from a modern application that they can travel with peace of mind. Second, we are going to introduce also the ability to pay for your mobility in the city, whether it's through public transportation, mobile ticketing, mobile payment, or account-based ticketing, and shift from just planning your trip and riding to a plan, pay, and ride experience. So we see the app as a one-stop app for planning and payment, which will make the process of consuming mobility in your city a lot simpler. Users will not need to have multiple applications anymore and multiple accounts on different applications in order to plan their trip and then pay for a scooter in one app and bicycle in a different app. Everything will be done through Moovit, and this way we will remove a lot of the barriers and the challenges that users might have because they need multiple apps. And if we make the process of consuming mobility simpler for the users, more people, more citizens will adopt public transit and micromobility services, and this is going to be very beneficial for the cities that will see less private cars on the road. And another area that we're going to continue and focus in the next coming years is to work with more cities, more municipalities, more transit agencies, and offer them our mobility as a service platform, a set of tools that we created for the customers to be able to plan and operate and optimize and introduce innovative mobility solutions to their citizens. Hectic.
Not too many
It was
interviews.
amazing.
Yes.
It was amazing. Great media tool. Very large enterprises and companies have chosen to partner with Moovit, like Microsoft, like Uber, like Cubic, the largest mobile payment and fare management ticketing company in the US. And they did that because of our global coverage. Our transit database has data for more than 7,000 transit agencies, which means that as they bring and introduce multimodal trip planning, and micromobility services inside their application, they can benefit from the largest and most accurate transit data repository that Moovit has. All of these partners have checked the accuracy of our data and the global coverage that we have, and we're pleased that they actually chose Moovit to be their provider. So we saw that Uber added Uber Transit and opened that service in about 15 cities so far. Lisbon was just last week, and the entire experience inside Uber is fully powered by Moovit's multimodal trip planner. Cubic is the same, as well as Microsoft. And so the large enterprises that we partner with, together with the cities and municipality, are choosing Moovit because of our global coverage, but most importantly also because of our most accurate transit information.
And next time we go to ski before.
Yeah, exactly. So Moovit has today more than 680 million users that are using our product, our free product for iPhone, for Android, and on the web. Every day we collect more than 6 billion anonymous data points that represent the movement of people within their city. Every time a user performs a trip plan, every time the user checks the schedule of a line, we store that information in our database. I want to make sure that it's clear that all of these data points are aggregated, and we do not track an individual user's patterns. We always aggregate and anonymize the data points, because what we want to show is patterns of movements of groups of users who travel on a specific transit line or transfer in a specific stop. And so we aggregate that information in an anonymous way. We apply some data science and machine learning algorithms on top of that. And then we make these insights accessible via a product that we license to transportation engineers, municipalities, and cities called Moovit Urban Mobility Analytics. And our analytical product helps decision makers and policymakers better understand how people move around their city, and then they can see what are the opportunities for improvement and for optimization. So Amat in Milano, for example, is one of our customers, and we have other customers here in Italy that are already using our services. And as I mentioned, we do it all in an anonymous way. Moovit is fully GDPR compliant. We take users' privacy very seriously, and we'll continue to do that in order to ensure that users' privacy is kept and maintained.
Yes, some more. Okay, what are you going to do this weekend in Israel?
I'm going